I know a lot of people are excited for Silent Hill 2, so what do you think so far?
I currently have some jitters because I literally just took a break from it. And it's not so much like jump scary, which and I know people hate jump scares. I actually don't mind them. That's what gets me. Really into it and really scared, but it's the atmosphere, it's the sound, the music that kind of creeps you out. You're just like, like I don't know what to do or whatever.
Hmm.
But there are some changes from the original to this one. Certain things would be padded out, certain things would be modified. And I remember because this was my the original was my first ever survival horror game that we played, and Frankie was nice enough to let me have it and go on with it. Um, and my only complaint so far is, well, two complaints so far. One of them was there's certain parts that I felt was padded a bit too long. Like in the original, when you're walking into the town, you're going through a short path to get there. In this
Hmm.
one, the path felt a bit longer, so it's kind of like you're kind of padding it out for no reason.
Hmm.
But the other thing was visually, not saying the game looks bad because it doesn't look bad at all. It looks really good.
Right.
But I have yet to see a game that looks as amazing as Alan Wake 2. There are some that got close to it, but I don't know what Remedy did to make the game look as good as it did for Alan Wake 2, but I can't seem to find anything that looks as close to that visually. But this game does have a bit of a different aesthetic to it. There's the fog, there's a different tone. So I understand that. But I mean, visually the game looks great. It looks a little funny in some parts. The character model, like James, looks a little funny. But you're taking an old game and trying to remake it for current. But um, I say there's like a little bit of improvement they could have done with the graphics. But other than that, so far everything has been going well. Little challenging here and there with the combat.
Mm. So yeah, I wanted to kind of focus on the graphics because I know early on I remember a lot of people's reaction to the early like gameplay trailer
Hmm.
was not very good. It was very much this does not look as good as we had hoped. I think also um the Resident Evil remakes have really like
Hmm.
kind of got made us spoiled to like how remakes can look if you really like, even though, Capcom has its own um engine, graphics
Hmm.
engine and whatnot. But so I know you touched on it a little bit, but do they look better than they did in that early footage, or is it kind of, not great?
It's hard to say. I would say maybe a tiny bit better, but not by much. Which Capcom is funny because Capcom has a tendency to either do really amazing or do really crappy. Um,
Mm,
like the Resident Evil remakes graphically looked great. RE2 remake was amazing. Resident Evil 3 remake, not so much. Then they have things like I think Dragon's Dogma 2 had its share of like wasn't amazing, wasn't terrible. There's some things wrong with it that people felt.
hmm.
Some classic things they did like Dead Rising got remastered, like why? Um,
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Street Fighter 6 has its, things and I'm like, okay, cool and okay, not so cool. So Capcom has a habit of doing either great or doing really shitty. But with
Hmm.
this one, with that being said, Capcom doing the graphics for Resident Evil Remake, even before it got the current gen upgrade, this is like PS4 and Xbox One, looked amazing. Compared to Silent Hill 2, I'd say those games still look better
Mm.
than what we get here. And I know that you mentioned to me some reviewers are saying that Silent Hill 2 is like a Game of the Year contender, and
Yes.
I didn't play enough hours yet to make that same opinion on it, but um, I had a point about that. What was my point? Wow, I already forgot. Basically, Sony. So, with this being a Game of the Year contenders, apparently, um, I initially was thinking, oh, this could be a win for Sony, right? Because it's exclusive to PlayStation and PC. Um,
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't realize.
yeah,
This is not on Xbox?
not on Xbox, so it's technically a PlayStation exclusive with them putting it on PC. But it's
Oh.
not a PlayStation Studios game though. So is it
This is like a Final
really,
Fantasy situation.
yeah, so is it really a win for Sony or a win for Konami? Um, because Sony had what, Astrobot, which is another Game of the Year contender from people.
Yeah.
Um, I will say, in terms of recent games, still looks way better than Rise of the Ronin. God, I hate that game, but um, it's one of those of like you kind of expect a bit more visual greatness from a game that's exclusive to a console that is known to be having great exclusives. And now it's like how, what's wrong, what's wrong here type of thing, you know?
Right, right.
Yeah. Um,
Hmm. So it sounds like a little bit of a mixed bag at the moment with Silent Hill 2. You're not as head over heels as the rest of horror video game reviewing YouTube is.
so I'd say for me, I I was expecting more of the horror in the big from what I played so far because other games similar to this, you got the horror right, from the beginning.
Hmm.
And I'm not someone who can like brave through the games and not be scared. I have to play these games at least 2 or 3 times to not be scared going through it. Um, I get very scared, like scared very easily with these kinds of games.
Gotcha.
Um, so for here, I'm not getting the scare too much yet. I don't know if it's going to come later or if it won't come at all,
Hmm.
but I will say that it has the atmosphere, it has the sound effects, the combat. I don't have any guns yet. I just got the wooden plank. Combat is interesting, a bit challenging from what I thought it would be because I heard mixed things. I heard one reviewer say combat was having to use your weapons and everything, shooting, as many bullets as you can shoot. I had
Hmm.
another reviewer say they used the plank for most of the game and ended up with ammo in triple digits for a survival horror game. Like I've never played a horror game that I got the ammo up to triple digits. So that was kind of like, is that throughout all your guns combined or one gun had 100 bullets? Because that's kind of insane.
Right, right.
So I haven't shot anything yet. I haven't found the handgun yet, but we're all just waiting for Pyramid Head, right? We're just waiting for that one.
Yeah, man.
And
Even I know Pyramid Head, and I never played a Silent Hill game in my life.
yeah, and I'm just like not ready for that. So I'm not like, you know, at the moment I'm not saying my expectations were shattered. It's more so of I'm not scared as much as I thought I would be yet, but
Mm.
I am going through to see if I can because there's some things in here that is different that's cool. Like, in God of War, you have those walls with the certain markings on it, and that means you can climb those walls.
Yeah.
Horizon has the same thing. So this one has something similar where if there's like a white cloth hanging from like a window or from a door, that means you can climb it or break the glass and go through it. And so that was cool because the original game didn't have this ability to like smash windows and enter buildings in the first part of the game. So here you can.
Oh, okay.
And that was
So
pretty
wait, like
cool.
more explorable areas
Yeah,
sort of thing?
exactly. Yeah,
Okay.
more areas to explore, and there you find like different items, different puzzles. Um, so that I appreciated.
Mm.
Um, no photo mode, which I don't think there is one, and and you and me, that's a big thing for us. I like a photo mode. I like to just pause the game, take a really nice picture of something.
But does it have
Um,
to be a good photo mode? Because like Final Fantasy VII, there are some moments in Rebirth that I want to pause the game and like take a picture of like a boss fight. And the photo mode in that game is so bad and so bare bones that like I just don't use it. And I mean, so the game has a photo mode and
yeah.
it's so
Me,
lazy that it's like, what's the point of even
it
putting this?
depends slightly for me in the sense of in Final Fantasy, for example, if I'm in a really badass scene and I can do something with the characters to put them in a badass,
Hmm.
pose, it'll be fine. But the problem is those poses, when you can't do it on photo mode itself, it gets blurry.
Mm.
And so games like Horizon and Spider-Man, some of the best photo modes ever because you can pause it, you can change the time of day, you can put your character in different poses and different facial expressions. I can see why they won't do it for this one, but you kind of want to. do a photo mode, I guess, just to capture like maybe you hit that one ugly thing with your wooden plank. You want to get that shot where he gets hit in the face, or maybe
Right.
you want to get a close up of Pyramid Head to see the detail of Pyramid Head. So I would like games to do better with photo mode and make good photo modes because Final Fantasy 7 doesn't have a great one. Final Fantasy 16 didn't have a great one. I think there's one now in Alan Wake 2 that isn't that great either.
Mm.
I think some of these developers just figured, oh, we could put one in and that's it. No, you got to put the work into it. I mean, Spider-Man Horizon are my top two photo mode
Yeah.
games. I even showed my brother photos of Horizon Forbidden West, and they were a mix of gameplay and cutscene. But I only showed him the gameplay once, and he thought some were cutscene. I'm like, no, dude, this is all gameplay. Like that's how good it looked.
Yeah. No, I mean Horizon is on that level. Yeah, it's one of the best looking games of all time.
And I know for Silent Hill, no photo mode, okay, fine, but what else does it offer? I know the original had alternate endings. This one has more alternate endings they added. I don't know how many more, but there's
Okay.
that. I would hope they're gonna do some kind of expansion or DLC. If not, they'll probably just remake the third game or something. But um, it's weird that they didn't do the first one at all. Like they didn't remake it, they didn't remaster it or anything. But I
Right.
understand why this one got it. This was like the first big Silent Hill. Um, but it's on that topic that I think you and I talked about before of we're getting more of these remakes and remasters. And we also got the Horizon one is coming out end of the month. Um, and then you got games that are actually getting a sequel, like Dragon Ball gets a sequel this month in a few days. So I love that they put it out for a remaster. People who love the original can play it and have a bit of a different experience. Those who
Mm.
never played it before can now play it and get somewhat of the same experience. Um, Makes me wonder what other games that should have been remade will get remade. But Konami has been doing okay recently, considering all their past stuff, because they did bring back the Metal Gear Solid collections, and those had mixed reviews. But then the third game being remade or whatever, people seem to be very hyped about the third game being remade. Um,
Yeah, it looks pretty good. Looks
Still
pretty
no
good.
love for Castlevania. Well, kind of. They just did the DS collection, which is great. But where's a
Mm.
new Castlevania entry, or where's Symphony of the Night? I can get it on. I have it on my PS5, but can I play that on Switch so I can take it with me and play Symphony of the Night on Switch? But oh, and Yu-Gi-Oh! Konami, what's the Yu-Gi-Oh games? Come on, but
Oh,
um,
that's my dream. That's my dream.
yeah, but there seems to be making some steps in the right direction. They did have that other Silent Hill game that came out a while back, the free one. That one was eh. And I think there's like
Mm.
another game coming up that takes place in Japan, and they also have this like live streaming show that you can watch. I haven't watched it, but
Interesting.
they're
Okay.
doing something big with Silent Hill. Just please don't bring back PT because I still have nightmares about PT. That that woman, oh my God.
So what are some I guess what are some things that you know that you're really happy about with this remake and then some of the things that you're not quite as happy with, positives and negatives.
Let's see. Things I'm happy with is well, it's a mixed bag for me to say I'm happy to play this again because I also had a copy of it on my Xbox and I have a copy of it on my computer.
Mm.
Um, but it at least lets me play it in a way that I can record gameplay on the PlayStation. I can do my whole PlayStation thing with it. But aside from that, the atmosphere does make me happy because the fog is even worse, like worse in a good way, like more
Hmm.
scary. There's actually a part, not to spoil anything, but there's a part where you have to go to the apartments, which everyone knows about. But when you get the key for the apartment in this one, the fog gets even thicker. There's like a storm hitting you, and things are flying towards you, so that made it really cool. I hate the games that use shoulder buttons for melee combat because it kind of hurts my forearm. Like God of
Hmm.
War did it, this game does it. Use R2 to hit with the stick. R1 is to do a 180 turn, L1 is sprint. I think L2 is aim when you have a gun, but hitting these things with the R2 button, it just hurts my forearm. And I'd rather use like a square or something to do that. I don't know if I can remap. I probably can
Wait,
remap
yeah, is
it.
there no way to remap the controls?
There probably is, but what will happen with me is I'll remap it and forget that I remap it. And then I keep pressing the button. Because even the old game, you remember the old game had a weird movement. And then I
Hmm.
had changed it to put it normal, and I couldn't do it normal. I had to go back to the old way and do it. Um,
Mm.
but it's just, I guess I'll take it as me strengthening my forearms if I play the game. But um, other than that, I do wish that, again, I wish there was a photo mode. I wish the game looked slightly better visually because I heard if you do performance mode, it won't look as bad or much, it won't look any less, good.
Mm.
So it's almost equivalent. But there's also how good are the frames. I think it's almost a solid 60 from what I heard from Game Ranks. Maybe drops a little bit below, but I'm blind in one eye, kind of, not really, but I can't really notice those drops too much.
Right, if
Um,
it drops from 60 to 55,
yeah,
yeah, you're probably not going to notice.
if it dropped from like 60 to 10, then like, yeah,
Right, yeah.
because my monitor has a counter. It tells you you can set it to tell you how many frames are running. And I was doing God of War Ragnarok that's supposed to be running at 120, and it never hit 120.
Hmm.
It capped at like 110 or 109 or something like that. But I couldn't tell it any difference. It was running smooth. I was okay, whatever.
I can't tell a difference
Um,
between 60 and 120.
yeah,
I
no, you can't.
legitimately can't tell the difference.
So, I think other things that I'm kind of looking into is, the dialogue is, I think, mostly the same. So it's gonna be a bit cringy, classic horror dialogue. Um, Character model so far looks okay, but could look better. So hopefully that, I guess, answers the question.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah, I mean, I know that some people can be a little exhausted of the constant remakes that we're getting. But this one seemed like a good choice for a remake
mhm,
because this game is pretty old, and it's got a really big fan base, or at least like a pretty solid fan base of people that would be interested. And it seems like they made a good call on skipping over the first one because Silent Hill 2, just the title alone carries a
mhm.
lot of significance just in like popularity. Um, so it sounds like it lives. I mean, I know you said that you can like go into, other buildings and whatnot. Are you like a faithful remake person? Would you have preferred that this was just a nicer looking version of the exact same game that you played when you were a kid, or are you okay with the fact that they like made these little additions?
Um, I would say both. Number one being if they did a complete ground up remake, it would work for me because I have very minimum memory of the original. Because we played that one when we were in what, middle school?
At least middle school,
Yeah, and
yeah.
we graduated college how long ago?
Oh my God, why are you taking it here?
So
2015, yeah, 9 years ago.
So that's why for me it's like I wouldn't remember too much if they did a ground up, but with this one, it at least might have some things that I might remember and things that will be brand new to me where I was like, okay, now I can have a new experience for me. But then you have games like the Spyro trilogy where I never played the first two Spyros back in the day, wow. But they remade them and from the ground up as is. And the third one, I never went back to finish the third one, but I can play it from how it was back in the day. Resident Evil 2 and 3 also did the thing where it's different. It's not the same game made, one to one. Um, but I would say if I had to choose one, I would prefer, I guess, the current one only because they did make it a bit lengthier. Like the original, I think you could beat in like 8 hours. This one, a
Mhm.
lot of people say they beat it in about 16 hours, which means for me, it'll take me 20 to 25 to beat it.
That's pretty
Um,
good. Is it a full price? Like, is it
yeah, it's
$70?
70.
Ooh, ooh.
Yeah.
See, now to me that doesn't. I don't like that. I don't like that. I think remakes legally should be capped at $50. It
Yeah.
just you're selling a game that already came out. You didn't have to come up with any new ideas most of the time. 70?
Yeah, 70.
That's tough during a month when Dragon Ball Z comes out. It's tough.
Yeah, because this whole month has a lot of stuff, whether people like it or not, where it's Silent Hill, Dragon Ball Z, I guess Dragon Quest, there's something else that was releasing this month. To Call of Duty releases this month.
Oh shit,
Um,
that's right.
Apparently there's a Barbie game coming out this month, so
Damn, we're
if
gonna
you're
have to
into that,
pre-order that shit
yeah.
for sure.
But I get your point where it's like remakes shouldn't cost 50. But then you also have remasters that also shouldn't cost 50 either. Like Last of Us 2 got a remaster that you can buy separately for 50 bucks. Horizon Zero Dawn is getting a separate one you can buy for 50, but there's also that $10 upgrade thing. But here, I kind of see the point of it should have been a $50 game only because you're not making a new idea. You're not, you know, coming up with something brand new. You're just changing certain things or adding certain things different. But the blueprints are still there, you know?
Yeah,
So I kind of
yeah.
get what you mean, yeah. But I'm sure it's a game that might go on sale with like Black Friday or something. Maybe not. Who knows how Konami would run with that? Because Konami, despite Konami doing better now, there still could be greedy, douchebags and whatever.
Yeah, it's also weird
Um,
with Black Friday with like $70 games. Like usually they go to maybe 50, which like it's not really that good of a like $50 at least for a lot of us, is still a lot of money.
yeah.
Um so like I'm thinking back to that Prince of Persia game that came out earlier this year.
Hmm.
And like every time that goes on sale, because I think it came out for $60, it goes on sale for like 25 to 30, which is pretty good. Like that's a little bit easier to be like, okay, I'm getting a brand new game, whatever, 15, 20, 30 hours of gameplay. You can kind of do the math in your head. You're like, yeah, that seems worth it. 70 down to 50 for a 12 to 16-hour game, maybe 20 if you suck. It's like, it's seems a little pricey, but at the same time, I will say, if the game looks really good, plays really good, and I guess just gives you a modern way to play a game that you played when you were younger, maybe it's, worth the full premium price. I just think that we kind of, I usually attach 70 as like, Dragon Ball Z, Sparking Zero. I'm like, yeah, everything I've seen from that game, that looks like a $70 game. Like that is a ton of polish, a ton of hard work. And it's not a remake. It's a continuation of a series that already existed. And I'm sure Silent Hill 2 is probably worth the $70, but it's always just kind of hits the ear wrong whenever it's like, yeah, it's a remake and you're charging basically $80. Let's be real with tax, unless you live
Right.
in like Florida or Texas, like you're paying $80.
Yeah. My
Uh,
thing about it is, especially with a survival horror game, that not only are they shorter than other games, but they also typically go on sale a lot cheaper than other games too.
yeah.
With some exceptions. Resident Evil 4 for some reason don't doesn't really drop lower than 40. Um, but like I got Resident Evil Village with all the DLC for like 20 bucks a while back digitally. It was like 10 to 20 bucks, I think, with the VR mode included, because I have the VR headset. So these games are a bit shorter than other ones. They do go on sale pretty heavily compared to other games. Um, and I think it's also, I guess one positive is it's kind of overshadowing Until Dawn because that came out, what, 2 days ago? And
Oh, did it really? Holy
yeah,
shit, I
that
didn't
came
even
out
know
like 2 days
that.
ago. And did that one even need it? I have a copy of that on my PS4 hard drive to play on my PS5 Until Dawn. So I'm like, did that one really need a remaster? Which was also, I think, $70. But I was like, yeah, no. Um,
Oh my God. Hold on, I gotta look this up. Did they even say if there was like a, upgrade path type of thing?
No, for that one, it was that they were doing different things like new camera angles and new endings and new
What?
controls, and that's about it really.
New camera angles? Are we serious?
'Cause remember it's like Detroit
It's
Become
it's
Human,
60
you know.
bucks.
Okay,
60
so
bucks.
I
Still,
mean,
this is a game that exists on PlayStation 4 and looks fine. Also, I think it's
yeah,
free on PS Plus, the PS4 version.
I think it is because I didn't pay for it and I have it, so
Like,
I think it is. Or it was during that when the PS5 came out, it had that PS Plus collection thing. I think it was free on that. Um,
I will be
I
honest though, I was unaware that Until Dawn came out in 2015. I did not know that game was that old. I thought it was like, I don't know, 2019, like slightly before COVID. Like,
I
all
thought it was
right,
before 2015.
that's by gaming standards, that's pretty old. What was Last of Us? 2013, 2012. So
Yeah.
like, yeah, I guess it doesn't look that good, but I don't know, this looks pretty good.
But it's like, they remade that, but why not remake what was it, Heavy Rain?
Yeah, that's a really weird. I don't know why they. I mean, we're completely off topic now.
Yeah.
So I don't know why they never remade Heavy Rain. That was weird. Or
But
give us a Detroit Become Human sequel. Damn it.
yeah, because
Wasn't that company supposed to be making a Star Wars game? I don't know what happened to that.
yeah, I forgot they were making one. Well, Star Wars has been that one has I think has a pause, and KOTOR has a pause on it too, right?
Oh yeah. Is that
Um,
canceled? That
no,
one's
I don't
canceled,
know
I
if it's
think, right?
canceled. That was on hold.
I don't remember. Yeah.
But it's an interesting time to be a gamer because I don't we don't have as much time to play like we used to. And the time that we do have, we want to I guess you and I are different because you don't review games, you review movies and TV shows and stuff. So you're gaming, I would assume is, you're gaming for your enjoyment, right? And
Yeah,
you have to play all
very
these games and
casual.
everything.
Um, I I mean, I have a bit of a history of having a lot of trouble finishing games because I am very easily distracted by side quests,
Hmm.
especially when they're interesting side quests. And yeah, I'm a very casual gamer. I'm just looking at my collection here. I have four games that I keep next to my PS5 at all times. They kind of rotate in and out, but right now it's Star Wars, Jedi Survivor, Spider-Man, Final Fantasy 16, and Final Fantasy 7. I have only beaten Spider-Man of those games. I've tried to beat Final Fantasy 7, but I'm just when you're a casual gamer, you maybe I play it once a week, maybe I play it for 3 hours and then I don't play it at all for a month. Like, you as more of a someone who does more reviews and like keeps up with games like as soon as they come out, and makes videos, like you definitely have to be like way more conscious of like how much everything costs and uh
Yeah.
it
Because
it, it
my other issue
adds up.
is I have a hard time beating games because I can't just play a game without something else going on like YouTube or something.
Right.
I have a hard time. Um, and whenever I'm playing games, whether it's like, let's say a new release, right, like Silent Hill. So I gotta fit time to play it as fast as I can so I can review it because I don't like reviewing games that I don't finish, but most games I review, I can't finish in time to do a review. And so usually I tell my girlfriend like, "Hey, I'm working," and that means like to her it's like I'm playing games, but it's like
Right.
I'm not just playing games. I'm constantly recording it. I am, putting some notes in my head, just to get something together. Like Astrobot, took me a little longer to beat it because I wanted to get everything done, and I did beat it and 100% and reviewed it. And then after I did the review, got the platinum. So I want to try to beat Silent Hill before I review it. So I told her, if we have a shared calendar, so I'm like, hey, look, this week Silent Hill 2, I gotta play it, gotta review it. And then that makes it hard for me to beat other games. I have so many games I haven't beaten yet. Um, Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, Kena Bridge of Spirits.
Oh shit. Yeah, I
I'm
didn't beat
going
Kena either.
through Horizon Zero Dawn right now, so I can, I guess, beat it before the remaster. Because I was going to do a review of it before the remaster comes out. So I'm going through that. I have so many games on the PS4 save section and the PS5s that I haven't beaten that I'm like, I'm never gonna get through all of it. And my Switch, I'm never gonna get through all of them. But then the problem is, Silent Hill's out now, and then Dragon Ball comes out in a couple days, and I'm like, I can't get it right now. But I could probably pick it up maybe in a week or so, maybe not. I want to kind of I get my games on a payment plan, whether it's Klarna,
Oh yeah,
Afterpay,
yeah.
Zip. So I have Silent Hill on that, which I had to call my GameStop to push the order through because they took their sweet ass time. And I'm like, yo, can you guys get my order ready? He goes, yeah, yeah, we got it. We'll get it ready. Like, dude, I don't want this sold out and then don't get a copy. But um,
Yeah. Well, especially with physical games these days, man.
yeah. Because even Astrobot, I had to get it through I forgot how I got it. I think I waited like a day or went to another store somewhere further out because they didn't have any copies near me. And I'm like, bro, really? They're like, yeah, we have pre-order copies. But there are those games like Spider-Man that when they come out, I am head first into it, complete it, and then play the other games on the side. And there's
Yeah.
games like what recently something came out that I didn't finish. What came out recently besides Astrobot? Do you remember?
Oh, Wukong.
Wukong. Yeah, I could not beat
Yeah.
that before the review. I put a lot of time into it. I got frustrated and I was like, let me just review it because I was disappointed in Wukong, but Um,
I think with some games, I mean, we are fully off topic now,
yeah.
but I think with some games, at least for me, because I've definitely done this with some of my reviews, like back in the day. I don't can't remember the last time I did this because I don't really review TV shows anymore. But I used to do a lot of first impression kind of reviews where it was like
Mhm.
watch a couple episodes, talk about, if I think the show works or what I like, what I don't like, all that. I did that with Animaniacs. I did that with the Cyberpunk show. Um, because this stuff takes time, man. And it's like you're gonna
Yeah.
take whatever 6 hours out of your day to binge a whole fucking season of something. And I'm like, I have a job. I don't have like all this time to just like set aside to that. My job is not YouTube. Um, so I would that's one of the reasons why I like Game Ranks because their videos are mostly first impression. I am fairly certain they do beat the games or they like come really close to beating the games.
Mhm.
But at least as a viewer, I'm just looking for like, what are the first, few hours like? Because let's be real, most people don't finish games anyway. So the people that complain about like you didn't beat the game, like how can you do a review? It's like you're probably not going to beat the game. Like what are you talking
Right.
about? Like, so I
Like,
think like for a lot of the times, if you played Silent Hill for like 5 hours, you've probably gotten. I
yeah.
mean, obviously, also you played the first one, or the original version, but like you've probably gotten a decent idea of what the game is going to provide. And for the average casual gamer, it's going to take them way longer to get through 5 hours of that game.
Yeah.
Same with like Final Fantasy. Like I love that game. I really enjoy every time I play it. I have a lot of fun. I am 60 hours into that game. Like, and I'm casual, and I bought that game, I think, when it came out in February. It is October. Like, it takes so long for casual gamers to get through that. Like, when I'm watching a review, if someone's just giving me like, oh yeah, I played for like 5 to 10 hours, or depending on the length of the game. If the game's 16 hours or 12
Hmm.
hours and you played the first 2 hours, it's like you've played a decent chunk of the game technically. Um, I'm just looking for like, yeah, what are the initial vibes? Like, is it good? How does it look? Like, you don't need to beat a game to be able to talk about the graphics and
Right.
features and whatnot. So I don't know. I would almost say like I think you're probably good to just do like first impressions and like, yeah, I bought the game, I played it for a few hours. Here's what I think.
See, I never liked doing those because whenever I did, I just felt like they never did as well viewer wise. And then, um, those who might say like, "Oh, not to review a game if you don't beat it," but it's like, well, the difference for me is my job isn't YouTube. It's not my career yet, so I don't get
Right.
early copies, right?
It's a
Um,
hobby. Yeah.
yeah, and so it's so funny because from what I remember, I reviewed Tears of the Kingdom after I did 100 hours into it. Don't know how that happened, but I do agree with the game idea of like. I haven't put 5 hours yet into Silent Hill, but I put enough so far that I'm still in the beginning, but it's like this is what the game is pretty much. This is the
Yeah.
combat, this is the enemy type for the most part. This is the atmosphere. It'll get more scary when you get to the more hellish parts of the game. But again, I've played the original back in the day, so I kind of know what I'm getting out of it. And I think it should have been a bit cheaper, but it is worth the money in terms of the performance, the graphics, the aesthetic, the theme, the ambiance, or whatever you want to call it. Um, of course, the story is going to be the same more or less. So if you know the story, then you know what you're getting into. But I will say that it is worth the money so far. If they add additional content, great. If not, so be it.
Yeah,
But
I guess that's kind of I guess probably my last question just to wrap up the Silent Hill game. I guess because I enjoyed both Final Fantasy games. I definitely played more of Rebirth than I have of 16. I enjoyed what I played of Jedi Survivor. I think I got that a little cheaper than like full price, but like uh Rebirth I bought for $70. Spider-Man I bought for $70. I never once thought about the price of those games like after the fact. I was just like, they're
Mhm.
both so much fun. Like I had a blast. So you would say that so far you're having fun with Silent Hill. Because if you're having fun, really, like that's the whole point of the game. And, as much as we kind of get on these companies for like, is this worth $70 or $80 or whatever? If you're having fun, then it kind of is worth it, right? Like you feel like you got your money's worth, you're enjoying reliving the game and experiencing the new
Hmm.
aspects of it in the remake. So you feel like you're getting your money's worth?
I'll say this on a scale of 1 to 10, my current fun level is about a 7, 7.5. And I usually don't scale on a number, but I think it's because I was gonna play it earlier in the day, but I got busy with work and I had my girlfriend play Last of Us earlier today. And I was just a little tired today. But I think
Mhm.
fun level currently at a 7 only because I am waiting for that next big thing in the game to happen. But I mean that 7 can go up or down, right? So for me, it's worth the money at a 7. And I didn't think about the price until you mentioned the whole, remake thing. But I think anyone who likes the horror games or likes the original, you're gonna have fun with this one. You're gonna, have your money's worth with this one. Um, and if you think that it's not a great game and you play it, it's everyone has their opinion, right? Um, but fun level currently is about a 7.5, which is not terrible. It's not
No,
amazing.
for a
That's
few
fair.
hours, that's pretty
Yeah.
good. Right, it can't all be
Yeah.
Spider-Man where you're instantly fighting a boss within the first like two
Right.
minutes of the game, but uh yeah, that sounds pretty solid.
Yeah, I think I tread lightly too because it's like certain things I might know what to expect, and certain things I'm like I don't know what to expect from it, and it's
Mhm.
again I get scared, so it's like I don't know what to do. I'm just gonna hang out
Right.
here. So
So long as there's no
yeah.
fire engines that go down your block, man. Be careful out there.
That usually happens during the day, I think. So I think we're good for nighttime play. But yeah, that's gonna be it for today's episode. So let us know what you think in the comments below. Are you getting Silent Hill 2? Are you playing it? Are you enjoying it? Let us know in the comments, and we're gonna see you guys on the next one. Peace out.
Peace.